supporters going on away to my left, where the Turkish fans are making gestures towards the little colony of English fans, who thankfully at the moment are somewhat unmoved. Anderson, Allen, Erdal against Robson. Again, good play by the number 8 for Turkey. He's looking a highly accomplished international footballer, Erdal, as would befit a member of one of the Bundesliga sides in West Germany. England still to make an impression here, really, with 26 minutes gone. But Hodge on the far side. Waddle heads it back, but the ball is out for a goal kick. Turkish players drawn mainly from the big clubs in Istanbul. There are 5 from Galatasaray, where Don Howe was coach for a short period, so he's had a little bit of experience out here. The England number 2. But the current league leaders here at the moment are Besiktas, and they have 2 players in the team, or in the nominated squad anyway. Allen with the goalkeeper. Sansom to Hodge. Well, the first goal did take a while to come when England put those 8 past the Turks in the World Cup, and it hasn't arrived so far today after 27 minutes. Hoddle, Lineker, Waddle. Robson has joined the crowd of players in the penalty area, but it's Semih here to Ismail. So Robson can stay forward. Tony Adams has now come forward as well. Hodge knocking it back in. Anderson is there. And that volley from Clive Allen, well wide of the goal. I gather that Clive Allen has volunteered to take penalties today, should any be awarded to England. Keen to add to his tally, which for Tottenham this season stands at 47. Couldn't get that. Allen's trying, and there's an appeal for a foul by Erhan on Allen. Don't think you get those decisions very often away from home. Anybody coming in? Nearly half an hour gone in Izmir. Turkey 0, England 0, and no sign so far of many scoring opportunities at all. Neither goalkeeper really stretched. That comes off Iskender for an England throw. Sansom to Robson. Free kick to Turkey. Iskender. Savash. Forward by Ali Choban. Still a chilling breeze blowing around the stadium. Most of us packed the wrong clothes for this trip. And that's Erdal with Hassan waiting in the centre, and the challenge came in from Chris Waddle. A free kick's been given in Erdal's favour. Hassan and Erhan have taken up positions on the far side of the area. Ali Choban is forward as well, and Iskender to take. And Savash coming through for what would have been a spectacular volley had he caught it right. Got away from work early, just after 4:30. It's 31 minutes gone here in Izmir, and we're still waiting for the first goal. A couple of speculative shots, and that's about it so far. Here's Hoddle. Allen. Little Tottenham connection there on the edge of the area. Leaving the throw here for Gary Mabbott, which is the signal for Tony Adams to make his way forward. But the goalkeeper able to meet him quite calmly. Batir. Erdal offside, but it's a good-looking ball to Hassan. And in these very gusty conditions, I think goalkeepers will relish too many swirling crosses if and when they come in. Lineker, the player, fouled, and England able to thrust Anderson, Adams and Robson into the penalty area again. Robson up with the goalkeeper, Anderson, but a foul's been given. Anderson did score his first England goal in Turkey, in Istanbul, and he was hoping there to thrive on something spinning off the goalkeeper's hands, but the jump by Robson had already been penalised. There he is again, the England captain, Hoddle. Waddle. Anderson, Waddle, corner. No, apparently not. Goal kick. 34 minutes then have been played. Turkey mathematically are not out of the European Championship, but it seems to be more or less accepted, with all due respect to Northern Ireland, that this group is going to fall between England and Yugoslavia in terms of the one qualifying place. And England started this match with maximum points and no goals against. Ewer for the Turks. Razar. Iskender. Savash. Here's Anderson. Quite a passion for football in Turkey, but the crowd here would have to be described as disappointing. It's a country of some 52 million people, and the unemployment rate about 15%. Here's Hassan. Ali Choban. Hodge looking for Allen. This is possibly an opening for England, but it's running on and out. Well, Turkey will be pleased with the first 35 minutes here, having been hammered twice by England in the World Cup. They've certainly put on a respectable show in the first half in Izmir. Not that Chris Woods has had very much to do in the way of saves, but neither, on the other hand, has the Turkish goalkeeper, in what's so far been a pretty uneventful international. Ali Choban, Glenn Hoddle, Sansom. Hoddle and Sansom combining. Robson got a foot in there. Erhan. Ball's out on the far side. Hodge is forward here for England. Allen is following up. Hoddle. Semir. Iskender. Hassan's making a run through the centre, and he's onside, and Erdal is in the middle, dangerously positioned. Mabbutt's able to clear unchallenged. First sign there of the through pass, which the Turks, on the evidence of their previous match against East Germany, like to exploit to get players running from deep positions. Iskender. Razar. Iskender. Looks for Savaş. There he is. Savaş won that all too easily in midfield, really. Hassan on to Erdal. Anderson got a foot in. Ismail. Robson also got there, and now it's Waddle. England breaking with Lineker and Allen taking up central positions. Chris Waddle against Erhan, and he's past him, but not past the covering man. Turkey would appear to have improved their defensive organisation since last time round. And with 38 minutes gone, it's no score. And they're on the attack with Iskender, but England now can pick it up with Hoddle. Allen, his first touch had been better there. We would have had that. Here's Waddle. Allen couldn't quite get that one under control, but the chance had gone then for him, and it was Waddle who tried his luck. For any latecomers, there are about 5.5 minutes to half-time here in Izmir, and the score is Turkey 0, England 0. Hodge to Hoddle. Mabbutt. Sansom. Free kick, surely. Despite the protests from Semir, it was a foul on Lineker, the man he's marking. And indeed, he's roughed him up a couple of times. Glenn Hoddle preparing for the kick over on the far side. Robson forward again. Adams also there. Hodge came out to, Erhan cleared. Anderson hooked back in by Robson. And we had three players there in threatening positions, but the Turks able to cover. Iskender, number 11. Razar. Iskender. Oh, he's got a good turn of pace and some tidy close skills, Iskender. And Steve Hodge will have to watch it a bit. It's another foul. Hassan, Ur and Erdal waiting on the edge of the area for this free kick. Ismail's gone forward as well. There he is. They appealed against him for handball, and it was. Free kick to England with 4 minutes left in the first half. Mabbott to Adams. Anderson. Waddle, Allen. Not the best of returns, that, between the two Tottenham players. Hassan, number 9. Free kick. Brian Robson was bundled over by Hassan. Here's Adams. Across to Sansom. Through to Lineker. Sansom again. Sansom's cross. Robson was unmarked. Far side. Sansom to Hoddle. Robson makes the run offside. It mattered. The goalkeeper was in command. Here's Ismail. Ure. Number 7's played quite well in the first half in midfield for the Turks. Here's Savaş. And the sweeper finding time to get well forward here, Erhan. And he may get it back. And Erdal is in the middle, and there was a bit of danger there for England. It wasn't the best cross in the world, but there was an opening. Turkey, who've been insisting that their football has improved a great deal over the last couple of years, may be going some way in this first half towards proving that against an England team who so far haven't found a way of piercing the Turkish defence, or indeed finding the inspiration from midfield. Under 2 minutes left in the opening period, and it's 0-0. Adams got caught coming forward. Hassan. Robson for England. Hoddle. Lineker says, bring it, bring it. And then comes off his marker to turn beautifully. Foul on the edge of the area on Gary Lineker by Ali Çoban. Lineker's taken some hefty tackles. They know he's the danger man. 3 international hat-tricks to his name, including one against the Turks. So in the final minute of the first half, England have a free kick in a threatening position. Mabbott and Adams look as though they're both going forward for it. Mabbott, Anderson and Adams is the lineup on the far side of the area, in fact. Hoddle chips it, and Anderson comes in and appeared to have his run blocked there by a defender. Not that you get much for that, but we're coming up to the 45 minutes now. There haven't been many scoring opportunities. That was half a chance maybe. but not too much to write home about, as they say, at half-time in Izmir. Neither goalkeeper properly extended. Turkey playing for pride today and doing so pretty well from their point of view. England not finding the imagination to turn them over in the first half, which ends with a score of Turkey 0, England 0.
Well, you've seen the apologies for the quality of the picture during the afternoon. May I apologise for the quality of the football that you've been witnessing. I don't know what Peter Beardsley has done to anger the gods, but to have to comment on that at this particular point of time, Peter, is not a very nice job. Would you have a go and tell us what you thought of that first half?
Well, obviously it wasn't easy for the lads. I think the Turks have probably surprised the lads the amount of football they're playing. You know, they are trying to play a bit, and I think Bobby Robson said it a month ago, they're not as bad a side as they were when we won 8-0, and I think, to be fair, they're showing that today. You know, they're trying to play, and they're getting round the back a couple of times, and they could cause the problems if we're not careful.
I wouldn't expect you not to defend the England players, you know, in the performance, but didn't it appear a little lethargic, could we say?
Yeah, I think the boss will be disappointed. You know, the lads haven't really got going. I think the lads themselves will be disappointed, and obviously in the second half they've got to do a lot better.
Well, here's a man, of course, who predicts more goalless draws than the rest of us put together. Trevor Brooking, I mean, how did it come true so well for
No,
you?
it looks grim, doesn't it? I think, you know, the build-up to the game, really, you wondered what was going to happen today because you had all the injury problems, you know, 2 or 3 of the experienced lads missing, a lot of games over the Easter period, and really that has, I think, been illustrated in the first 45 minutes. The lads have defended well, they've battled, but there's not the sort of little sharpness or flair going forward. I mean, the midfield, I think, the Turkish lads, number 11 who plays wide on the right, Iskender, looks a tricky little player, Erdal, number 8, and Euro, the little number 7 as well. They've controlled that midfield area, and really Clive Allen, who's come in for Peter, probably has been disappointed in the first half, but he hasn't had a lot of service and support, and it's really going forward that we've got the problems at the moment.
Well, we'll hear a little more about that exciting first half in a moment, but I've been watching all week, as you have, I'm sure, the Embassy World Snooker Championships and the exciting shots there. We haven't had many on the football field this afternoon, and I trust they haven't any colour problems up in Sheffield. But anyway, let's join David Vine.
The only colour problems, Jimmy, is making sure which ball they put down, as you say, after 17 days. And thank goodness our snooker is a bit more exciting than the first half of your football. I'm sure it will get better. If you were with us earlier, you know the 2 stories of today, that Joe Johnson, the defending champion, is through to the semi-finals. He's beaten the young Scot, Stephen Hendry. And Jimmy White has won his match against Nino Kane of New Zealand. Lot more exciting snooker to come. We'll have it for you later on BBC 2 and throughout the night here. But who's going to get to the final? Well, that's on Sunday and Monday, and if you haven't got a ticket, there's only one way you can now get one. We're going to offer you 2 tickets, all expenses paid, put you up all sessions of the final, and that, of course, is our shot of the championship competition. The experts here, the commentators and the summarisers, have picked them out this year. So, as they would say in football, here we go, the 7 contenders for this year's shot of the championship. Watch this lot, try and pick out which ones you think are going to be the top 3. No snooker championship would be complete without Ted Lowe, locked away in his commentary box overlooking the table. Ted, the senior voice of the game, was very impressed with the youngest player, Stephen Hendry, in his first-round match against Willie Thorne.
Indeed, David, yes. Young Stephen came to the Crucible Sheffield to meet Willie, and the game of snooker, in my mind, is all about potting balls. This young fellow from Scotland has potted the most amazing balls, in my opinion. Just look at this one. Right underneath the bolt cushion. Perfect control. Cue ball back for the green. Clears the table and wins the match. He'll do for me, David, in any competition.
Shot A, then, Stephen Hendry's. Well, John Spencer, who's won this World Championship on 3 occasions, has spent a lot of time in the commentary box with Ted Lowe, and there was one shot which caught his eye.
Yes, it was in the match with Terry Griffiths and Alex Higgins, and in what turned out to be the last frame of the match. It's not a difficult shot, but Terry, most players would have played this possibly to go down for the blue or one of the bold colours to be safe, but Terry made it a lot more difficult by playing a very delicate slow screw and went on to win the frame from that shot.
Shot B, played by Terry Griffiths. Well, Jack Carnham's another of the famous voices of snooker, and Jack, you were watching Stephen Hendry in his second round match, but I think you really had your eyes on Stephen Longworth.
Yes, I did, David. It was an excellent match. The two young men, they were really battling it out and trying to get on top, you know, in the early stages of the match. And suddenly, Steve Longworth needed 2 balls, and he was left with this position when he could well have been tempted into having a go. But he plays the most delicate of shots under extreme pressure and takes the cue ball off the blue, and the cue ball goes beautifully round the table, knocking the blue on the side cushion, and he drops right on that pink 100%, and that really is a super shot.
Shot C, the snooker by Steve Longworth. Player Jim Meadowcroft is one of our expert summarisers here at the World Championship, and he saw something in the match between Mike Hallett and Silvino Francisco. Mike Hallett, the player.
That's right, David. This, in actual fact, is a 4-ball plant that Mike Hallett picked out, and he's just sizing the shot up now. And it's one of those occasions when, if it goes in, it could be a frame winner. If he missed it, he could have lost the frame. But he carried on to pot the brown, and then went on eventually to win the frame.
Shot D, the Mike Hallett 4-ball plant. Clive Everton has something to say about a shot by Alex Higgins against John Wright, but perhaps not a typical Alex Higgins shot.
Well, I don't know about that. This is a good shot to actually pot this pink, but in fact, it's not as daring as it looks at first glance. He plays the pink, hugs the cushion. Good shot that it goes in, but he wouldn't have left anything even if it hadn't gone in, because it would have blocked the pocket. Good thinking.
Shot E, Alex Higgins, the delicate rolling pink. John Virgo saw a shot from Neil Foulds. He was in a good position to see it. He was playing him at the time.
Yes, not for the first time. I thought I'd got Neil in trouble as I walked away from the table and saw this position. I thought, well, there's no way that Neil can get me safe. And when he was taking on the red, I still thought there was a chance. But what a pot it turned out to be. And of course, the tremendous cue power that Neil's got. Screwing back for a colour, and in the end, he won the frame off the break he got.
Shot F, Neil Foulds, potting the red and position afterwards. Well, Eddie Charlton is the voice from Down Under we've been enjoying this year, and Eddie got very enthusiastic about something that Jimmy White did in his match against John Parrott.
Yes, David, it was in the frame that Jimmy went on to make his 114 break, and it was getting from black to yellow. Jimmy was addressing the cue ball at 5 o'clock, and just look at this shot where he swerves the white between pink and blue, and it looks as if its speed is spent, but it fizzed off the ball cushion with the side that was still on it for absolutely ideal position.
Shot G, Jimmy White, controlling the cue ball. Well, as for me, there was only one shot in it. Just about the most remarkable break-off you'll ever see. I shan't forget it for a long time. Rex Williams will probably never forget it.
Ball 5, Murdo McLeod.
I've never done that before.
And he will probably never do it again. But as that would be such an obvious winner, it doesn't get onto the list. So just to remind you, here are the 7 contenders for this year's Shot of the Championship. Shot A, an example of the potting of Stephen Hendry, the yellow ball. Shot B, the well thought out red by Terry Griffiths to start a winning break. Shot C, the player Steve Longworth, the snooker, the cue ball rolling right up beside the pink in the jaws of the pocket. Shot D, Mike Hallett with a 4-ball plant. Shot E, Alex Higgins, not a typical Higgins shot, that delicate rolling pink. Shot F, Neil Foulds, not just the red, but position afterwards. and shot G, Jimmy White, making the cue ball do miracles. All you have to do is to pick what you think will be the top three. They'll be judged here by an independent panel.